up a smidge. I can't see anything. So I think, sorry. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so I guess that's good. The light's so bright I can't see my phone. All right, so the YouTube looks fine. Yeah, I'm not cutting off my head. What do you know? What do you know? All right, so I don't know. It's been one of those days that there's so many other things to do that I can't quite settle my mind on what to do today. So we're just gonna go and see what comes up. And ideally, in your practice, there are days that maybe you want to open your chest or work your shoulders or do all balance, right? And that's fine, right? But remember to get a little bit of everything. So your whole body is a kind of thing, right? And you still get to work the piece that you're intending to work, whatever that might be. I see things going badly. The cat is looking at the computer monitor. So I don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see how we put up with the kitten's antics today and just go with it. Remember to just listen to your body. And if you need a little something different, take a little something different. And just enjoy your practice. So we're standing, obviously, here. Feet underneath the hip bones, toes point forward. Let your toes spread so that your foot feels nice and wide, and then really ground into the four corners of the feet. Especially any standing pose, obviously, but any pose at all, right? Whatever your foundation is, you want that to be really solid. Yeah? So pressing down activates the legs. A little tuck of the tailbone so your lower back stays long and happy. The lower belly is in and up or tall through the sides. Make sure your upper belly stays relaxed so you can breathe into it. Relax your shoulders down. Ideally, your hands hang to the sides of your legs, not forward. If you like your palms forward, take them. Just as long as the shoulders drop open, back. The crown of the head is extending to the ceiling, so we're extra tall here. Closing your eyes. And just allowing yourself to be fully present in this moment in your body. Bringing that same awareness to your breath. Remembering that we want to breathe all through the nose, in and out. Finding that just beyond comfortable yoga breath, whatever that looks like for you. And I may be cueing to inhale, but if you're not inhaling yet, then you wait until you're inhaling. So always connected to the breath. Adding in movement then on the next inhale, we're going to take those arms and stretch them up to the ceiling. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Exhale, bring them back down again. And like that. One more time. Back to the top on the inhale. You can interlace your fingers, rotate your palms, whatever makes you happy here. Exhale, tip yourself to the right. Inhaling, come on back to the middle. Exhale over to the left. So nice and easy side to side like that. And as always, keeping that foundation really, really firm into the floor so we're not all dumping into the right here or over to the left there. Right? Nice and steady and even in the lower body. We're going to go one more time on each side with your breath. And then when you're back to center, just exhale, releasing the arms. So hands on the thighs here. On the exhale, bring yourself over into a half fold-ish. Bending in through the knees on the inhale, round back up. Stack one vertebra on top of the next. And then flat back down again, half fold. You're just gonna roll like that. One more flow. And then come on over into that half fold and hold. Lean on the legs if you need to lean on the legs. We want to keep the shoulders back, the legs straight, ideally. Not locked, but straight. And if this is your full fold, you are done. Otherwise, with the breath, inhale here. And then exhale into that fold a little tiny bit deeper. Inhale into your halfway place again. Exhale a little deeper yet. So in and out of the bottom half, so to speak, of the fold. Until you find wherever your hamstrings are done. Or your lower back or wherever it is that you feel this really big stretch. So a couple of breaths making your way there. And then once you're there, you can hold. And maybe the hands remain up on the thighs. Maybe they move to your shins. Maybe they move the floor or your toes or something different. But think about where your shoulders are. So a lot of times we reach and we round. We want to keep that neutral spine as much as possible. From this fold, go ahead and bend your knees if you need. Plant your hands and step yourself back to a down dog. And just wiggle. Wiggle, shift. Check in that your feet are far enough apart. Right, that hip bone distance here too. If you need to slide forward into a plank, make sure your hands and feet are far enough apart. Then slide forward and then back. Wiggle your hips. Sink your heels. Move through your shoulders, whatever you need. And we're going to settle into that. So really, again, sinking your heels, pressing the chest back toward the thighs, checking in that your head hangs between your arms. How do your hands feel? You feeling that foundation of the hands? Maybe you're feeling your heels on the floor, and if so, maybe you can work that same foundation in your feet, but that may or may not be reality. From our down dog, let's go ahead and just lift the right leg. Straight back, nothing fancy. Press through your heels so you can feel that extra stretch. And then release the right foot and lift the left. Same idea, nothing fancy. And release it. Drop on down to your knees And give yourself child's pose. Do what you need to make yourself comfortable here. So maybe it's taking the hands back or opening your knees, taking a bolster underneath your belly. Rest is over, back to your down dog. We're going to lift that right leg again. This time here, open the hip and take your toes higher. Try to keep the right shoulder dropping, the left heel dropping. You can bend the right knee, pointing it toward the ceiling-ish, if you like. And then release that side and switch. So lift the left, open the hip so the toes are higher, bending at the knee if you like, keeping the shoulders level just as if you had 2 feet on the floor. Release that side, drop down to your knees and take your child's pose again. And again, break over, back to down dog. Adding on to that sequence, lift the right leg, open the hip and the knee. Take your legs straight and square your hips again, but keep your right toes up off the floor this time. Here, slide forward into a 3-legged plank. You can drop the left knee if you like. Hold, breathe. Back to 3-legged dog. And then release the right foot. Same idea, second side. Left leg lifts, the hip opens, the knee bends. And then we take the legs straight, squaring the hips. Use your belly. Slide forward. Back to 3-legged dog. Release the left foot. And drop on down to your child's pose. So from this child's pose, we're going to slide into kneeling plank. And if you need to adjust, certainly adjust your hands underneath the shoulders. The belly's engaged, so you're not drooping or sticking out. Keeping the head in line with the spine. You can absolutely take a full plank here if you like. We're going to bend the elbows tight to the sides, hover in the middle for just a little second here. Again, try not to droop or have your butt stick out, and then take it to the floor. So, working our shoulders just a little bit in our cobra. The hands are next to the side ribs, but for now the hands do nothing. The elbows are going to squeeze toward the body, feeling the shoulders draw back a little bit. Toes stay on the floor, tailbone tucks toward the floor. With the breath here, on the inhale, roll your shoulders up by your ears, squeezing together on your back, rolling down toward your hip bones, and then release them. Inhaling up, curling up, and exhaling, release. And again here, just be really aware there's not pressing into your hands. This is all about your shoulders for now. One more roll up there, get into there. Release it. Now the hands get to do a little bit of work. You can do exactly what we're doing. If that's where you want to work, that's fine. Otherwise, same idea, keep the toenails on the floor, turn the tailbone toward the floor. We're going to roll up into our shoulders, hold this one. pulling with your hands, find some space in your spine. Feel how that gives you a little length. Keep pulling. You want to feel your triceps here. And then maybe press. You come up a little higher. And then release. Keeping the elbows in. Press yourself back up into plank or kneeling plank. And drop on back into a child's pose or a down dog if you're maybe in your full plank. Into down dog if you're not ready. And then from our down dog, let's step the right foot forward for a lunge. Dropping the left knee. Adjust your toes until your knee is stacked over your ankle. Taking the right leg straight. Giving yourself a little extra hamstring stretch here. So adding in whatever gives you the stretch. So maybe just a straight leg, maybe it's a deeper fold. Maybe it's flexing your foot, toes pointing toward the ceiling. If that's not enough, flex the foot and imagine pressing your heel into the floor and dragging it backward towards your hip. Bend into the knee again. Let the hips come forward. Think sweeping the legs toward each other. We're going to bring the right hand to the hip and add in a little twist. Hug to center so the arm or the shoulder and knee don't touch, but you hug them in toward the middle rather than letting them wing out to the sides. Let's release the twist. Take the leg straight again. And see about adding something else. Can you make it a little bit more challenging yet? And then once more here, go ahead and bend. Sweeping the legs toward each other and twist the opposite direction. So bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Keep the shoulder and knee hugging in toward each other. Left hand to the hip and turn the belly away from the thigh. Let's release it. Lifting the back knee, go ahead and step back to down dog. And we're going to switch sides. Bring the left foot forward. Drop the right knee. Adjust however you need to adjust here, and then take the left leg straight. Find where your stretch is. May or may not be exactly the same over here. Bend into the knee again. Right hand stays put, left hand to the hip. Rotate toward the thigh. And then release the twist. Take your leg straight again. Finding that little bit of extra stretch maybe. Bend back into the knee. Bring the left hand to the inside. Hugging the arm and leg together as you rotate away from the thigh. Go ahead and release the twist. Lifting the back knee, we're going to step back into our down dog again. Lift the right leg. Open the hip, bend the knee. Take the legs straight, keep the hips square, and slide forward in plank. Three-legged plank. Drop your left knee all the way down to the belly, and yes, you can release your right foot. When you're done on the belly, hands next to the side ribs, roll yourself up into cobra. And then release. Press up and back for down dog or child's pose if you need a little mini break in the middle. And then we're going to switch sides. So lift the left leg. Open the hip, bend the knee. Take the legs straight, square your hips again. Slide forward, three-legged plank. Right knee down, all the way to the belly. Roll into cobra. And then back. Releasing into, go ahead to child's pose. From child's pose, back to down dog. One more time here, go ahead and step the right foot forward for a lunge. Step the knee and ankle. Drop the left heel. Take the left hand, sweep it forward, up, and back for warrior two. Fancy. And just check out your feet. Make sure they're where you need them to be. You can see your big toe beyond your right knee. Maybe. Let's bend the right arm, rest the forearm on the thigh, and bring the left arm over the ear. Sink into the hips, lean on the leg if you need to lean. Otherwise, it's just a place for your arm to hang out. You can let the arm dangle as well. From here, take the right leg straight. Left arm toward the ceiling, the right arm, I don't know, wherever it falls, whether you're on your shin, closer to your ankle, maybe up by your knee. Try not to lean on your knee if you are on it. Again, it's just a place for the arm to hang out, unless you need the support, of course. From here, hinge up. Straddle at your feet. Hands to the hips. If you need the support, put them on your thighs. Coming over into a half fold here. Again, right in the middle, whatever that looks like. Maybe you're parallel to the floor, maybe not anywhere near that. Shoulders stay back, so the spine is neutral. Take your full fold, whatever that looks like. And then hinge back up again. Supporting on the legs, take your time all the way up. Turning your right toes in a little bit, turn your left toes toward the back of your mat, and then bend into the knee, looking for warrior two here. So check out your feet. Make sure you see your big toe. Arms are parallel to the floor. Bending the left arm, rest the forearm on the thigh and the right arm on the ear. Lean if you need to lean, but only if you need to lean. From here, left leg straight-ish, right arm to the ceiling. Again, this left hand just kind of falls wherever it falls. Try not to lean down to reach the floor. On the inhale, hinge up. Release your hands, straddle out your feet again. Toes point forward. Hands on the hips unless you need support. Come on over. Take your time to the full fold. Bend into the knees if you need to. The index and middle fingers are going to wrap around the big toes. Elbows out. A gentle pull on the toes to draw yourself a little deeper into the fold if you still have a little more to give. Release the toes. Take the fingers and release behind the lower back. Pull the shoulder blades toward each other. Stretch the knuckles away from the shoulders. Shoulders away from the ears. And then release the hands. We're going to walk the hands around to the right foot. So we're lunging back to the top of the mat. Find step forward and go fold again. Planting the feet hip bone distance apart. Slide the hands on up to the thighs and bring yourself into that half fold again. So that parallel to the floor place. Okay. Lean on the legs if you need to be leaning on the legs. Make sure your lower belly is engaged. But if you don't really need to lean with your hands, you can hold yourself here. Take the arms down by the sides. So your forearms hug your hips. Palms face down. Feels a little awkward now, but it won't. If that's really no big deal, take the arms out to the side, right up the shoulders. Watch for the knees bending, your hips shifting back, your spine rounding. Any of that happens, you take the step back, right? Or maybe there's something in the middle. If this is no big deal, extend the arms forward. So hands, head, shoulders, hips in this straight line. Hips over ankles, legs are straight. You're breathing wherever you are. And then bend into the knees and sit into a chair. Again, leaning if you must lean. Little tuck of the tailbone if you feel like your bum's sticking out. Feeling the four corners of your feet. And then on the inhale, stretch to the ceiling. And release the arms. So let's take a standing balance. And I think we're going to work toward big toe. But let's see. So on your mat, near a wall, off your mat, whatever makes your brain happy. We're going to take all the weight over into the left foot and just lift the right knee. This might be as good as it gets. If you're wobbling all over the place and you got to go up and down with your right toe a million times, do it. Maybe you can grab onto the back of the right thigh to lift it a little higher. Maybe you can grab onto the shin and lift it a little higher. We want to stand up straight wherever we are. Okay. So if this makes you bend over or the left knee bend, forget it. If that's no big deal, you can reach down for your foot. Index and middle finger wrap around that right big toe and take the leg straight. You are going to waddle on the left foot, don't worry about it. Keep your right leg pointing forward. Stand up really tall. And then release whatever you got. And we'll work to the second side. So, all the way to the right, lift the left. Bring it in a little. Bring it in a lot. Find your foot. Left hand finds the left big toe maybe. Take the leg straight forward. And it doesn't have to be totally straight. Okay? Work in pieces. You got one more breath wherever you are. And then release what you got. All right. So if you stepped off the mat, go ahead and come back. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Then exhale, take it over into a fold. And let yourself hang. Knees bent, shoulders round, grab opposite elbow if you like. Step back to down dog. All the way down into a child's pose. So from child's pose, slide forward into a kneeling plank. So take the left foot over to the left side of the mat, right? The left knee is still on the floor. Just kind of rotating the foot over there. And then take the right hand to your hip. So we're in this half side plank. You can absolutely stay here. Make sure your left hand and wrist are happy. Sometimes the hand forward of the shoulder just a little bit more relieves any kind of dumping into the shoulder. But just like we do with our legs, push down and away. So hopefully that relieves the shoulder. Anyhow. Right foot steps behind the body. Closer to is better than further away from the body. Just makes it easier. Think pointing the right knee toward the back of your mat. And then rotating your belly button toward the ceiling. Drop this right shoulder down. You can extend the arm toward the ceiling or up over your, well, I say overhead, but arm in line with the ear. Might be better here. Release all of that. Back to your kneeling plank and child's pose again. So back to kneeling plank, and we gotta do the other side, so that's where we're going. The right foot over to the right, opening the body to the left, so your left hand is on your hip. This is good. Taking the left foot behind the body. Again, closer to is a little easier than if you start far away. The knee points at the back of your mat. Try to draw the belly button toward the ceiling. The shoulder drops back, maybe the arm lifts. Comes overhead here. So you're kind of looking up at the ceiling. Release what you got. And then back to your child's pose again. So that was step one, essentially, right? And you're welcome to do that exact same thing again. Keeping it a little bit lower to the ground doesn't always make it easier. Unfortunately. This time, otherwise, take it to our down dog again. We're going to do like we did at the beginning. Lift the right leg, bend the knee, open the hip. This right foot is going to drop to the floor behind the body. Again, closer to the body is easier. Okay. From there, lift your hips. Maybe take the left leg straight. Rotate your belly button toward the ceiling. Reach the arm, drop the shoulder, take it over the ear-ish. Right? Any of those pieces, if that left knee needs to be on the ground, take it. Back to down dog. We're going to plank if that's you. And then all the way down into a child's pose. So you see, listen to your body, and maybe it's ready to go, and maybe it's ready to go for a half a second, but then you go and add this or that. Okay? Let's see what happens over here. Remember, it's all a big experiment. What happens when I do this? Whatever this might be. How do I feel? Does the body like it? Can I keep my mind steady? Am I breathing? It's all just a big, let's see what happens. So, down dog. Lift the left leg. Bend the knee. Take those left toes to the floor. Knee down variation if that's where you need to be. Turning the belly, dropping the shoulder, arm over the ear. Line with the ear, not over. Can you breathe? Back to your down dog or kneeling plank. All the way down. Child's pose. So from child's pose, go ahead and come up to sit on your heels. And if you need a block here, take a block. If this is just unbearable, skip it, just come down to your bottom. It doesn't matter. It's just a little easier to sit up tall. If you prefer to sit between your heels, go ahead and open your knees and heels and sit your bottom on the floor, if that's you. All right, so left arm out. Bring that hand behind your neck, maybe between your shoulders-ish, yeah? The right hand is gonna pull the elbow toward the ceiling as much as it can. So this left hand is reaching down your spine, wherever that is. The right hand is gonna release and move behind the lower back, climb up the spine. Pointing the right elbow toward the floor as much as you can, and maybe finding your fingers back there. So if it's, I don't know, if you just can't stand the fact that you can't find your fingers, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just going that direction. But if you can't, you can always use a strap and walk your hands closer together. That way you're hanging on to the same piece. You can use a towel, anything, it's nothing fancy. And a little tie. And still wear ties. Gently release all of that, roll your shoulders around a little bit. And then we'll switch. So take the right hand between, whether it's towards your neck, whether it's towards your shoulder blades, help that elbow point as much toward the ceiling as you can. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Yeah, that sounds crazy. And then the left hand releases and slides up your spine. until maybe you find your fingers. So sometimes we do weird things with the spine to try and find the hands back there. Don't worry about that. Again, if it's a necessity that you have to get your hands as close as possible, then use a strap or something back there to lock your hands closer. Otherwise, as long as you're feeling the stretch, this is the fun. Let's gently release the arms. Roll those shoulders around. We're going to done this in a little bit. Come forward into all fours. Go ahead and roll your ankles, tap your feet, and wake them back up after being sitting on them. And then this all fours here, instead of having your fingers point forward, rotate your thumb outward so that your fingers start to point closer to your knees. They might not be able to go all the way back. It's not that big of a deal. Align as much as possible the heels of your hands with the top of your mat or the line on the floor, whatever, as much as possible. And then the wrists are shoulder width-ish apart. Keep a little baby bend in the elbow, especially if you're not feeling a lot here. If you hyperextend, a lot of times there's just nothing, right? But if you keep that little bend in the elbow, you should feel a really intense stretch. And if it's not intense enough, walk your knees further back or shift your hips back a little bit until you feel this crazy stretch in your forearms, wrists, maybe in your hands a little bit. Gently release. We're going to pick the hands up and turn them so that the fingers are pointing toward each other, palm face up. Wrists are underneath the shoulders-ish. A little bit of body weight in the wrists, unless that's super uncomfortable, don't worry about it. Think four corners of the hands, even though you're on the back of your hands. From there, pull your fingers in and make as tight a fist as you can. Squeeze them in really, really good, keeping the wrists on the floor. Elbows straight-ish. Squeeze, 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 and then spread the fingers wide. And then squeeze in and spread wide, squeeze, back and forth. A bunch of times, the hand is flat to the floor as you can make it when the hand is open. And then end with the hands wide. Gently sit back towards your heels again. Modify if you need to. And then nice and easy, roll your wrists. Both directions. Flop them back and forth. Let's shake them out. Let's take the legs around front. I haven't done that in a while, and your hands are overworked typically and underloved. So legs out straight, even on the sit bones back there. Lower belly's engaged. Do we want to reach the arms up? Hinge forward and bring yourself over into a fold. Another nice big breath. And then inhaling to bring ourselves back up. Release the arms. We'll take the feet flat, hanging onto the hamstrings. Tuck your head or tuck your chin and roll on back. Knees hug to the chest. And give yourself a little rock. Let's bring the feet to the floor. Crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Reach back behind the right thigh here, interlacing the fingers. You can use a strap here as well, if that's easier. And then draw the leg in toward the body. Keep the arms pulling in, push the leg back into the hands. Make it like work even though it doesn't look like anything. And then release that. Switching sides, right ankle over the left knee, reaching back behind the thigh, drawing in. Keep pulling in, but now press back into the hands here. And then release. Opening the arms out into a T position. Go ahead and shift your hips over to the left and let your knees fall to the right. You can adjust this twist, of course, as always. If you need a little bit of a different variation. Taking just a couple more breaths around this side. And then bringing it back to center. Switching sides. Just a couple more breaths around this side. And then making your way back to center again. Draw the knees back to the chest. Give them a good squeeze this time. Pulling the forehead toward the knees. Round up through the spine. And then take a full body stretch. Releasing that stretch. Make your way to Savasana, whatever that's going to look like. Let yourself fuss and wiggle until you feel aligned on the mat and body's comfortable. And then no more fussing and wiggling. Releasing your muscles and bringing that awareness back solely to your breath again. Trying to keep the mind here. And just allow yourself to rest for a few minutes. probably stay as long as you'd like in Savasana. But if and when you're ready, gently restore movement to your body. Maybe take a nice deep inhale and then let it all go with a big sigh. Keeping your eyes closed and your mind quiet, slowly make your way back to a seated position. Sitting well, draw the palms to touch. Now to light within. Namaste. Happy weekend. Hopefully you're able to stay cool this weekend. Apparently it's pretty hot almost everywhere on the planet. Well, right, maybe not the southern hemisphere, but you get the idea. So, yeah, that's all I got. Have a good weekend. Remember, if you have suggestions, comments, constructive criticism, just give me a shout. All right. Thanks, y'all. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Ty.